Welcome back and welcome to another movie reviews video. I make movie reviews here every Sunday on this channel and other bookish content in the week. My movie reviews are always spoiler free and I will leave timestamps in the description box below so that you can scroll to a particular movie you would like to hear my thoughts on. I will also leave last week's movie reviews video linked up here so that there might be something that you want to see in cinemas this week that I talked about last week. The first film that I saw in cinemas this week was Ready or Not, which stars Margot Robbie in a game of deadly hide and seek. I enjoyed this film. I've not had a great deal of attention span this week because I've been sick, and so it kept my attention span. It did. It is very kind of tongue-in-cheek. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like that about it. It could have gone down the route whereby, oh yes, this is a horror film about hide and seek, and people would have been not sure I'm buying that one, whereas it is very much tongue-in-cheek. The family isn't exactly brilliant at what they're doing. They're not exactly comfortable with trying to hunt down the newest member of their family and kill her, but it's very good, and it has one of the kind of best last lines that I've seen in a very long time, so it's worth seeing it for that reason. Does it benefit from being on the big screen? Not particularly being on the big screen, but for the kind of slightly thrillery aspect of it, it's good to see it in a cinema where you're not surrounded by other distractions, so I would definitely recommend going to see this one. Film number 2 that I saw this week was The Art of Racing in the Rain, which is based on the book of the same name by Garth Stein. I made a book versus movie video talking about this one, which I will leave linked up here if you're interested to hear my thoughts on the similarities and differences between the book and the film. As a film itself, it was okay. It did not do a very good job of keeping my very limited attention span. So if you suffer from similar things to me, in that you have real trouble with long tasks when you're not feeling great, or just in general, this might not be the one for you. It was billed as being extremely emotional, you know, take tissues with you. I suppose I'd read the book, so I knew what was coming, but I wouldn't say it was a particularly emotional, weepy film. I think it moves a little bit too fast for you to really invest in all the characters. One of the particularly emotional things you kind of see at the very beginning of the film, and then we rewind all the way back to let you get up to where you are at the beginning of the film. The child actress in this film is ever so slightly annoying, which I sometimes find with child actresses. So if that's something that also bugs you, then maybe avoid this one. This is one of those where it was okay. I wouldn't recommend seeing it on the big screen, but if you do like films with dogs or you like films about racing, then definitely take a look at this one when it comes to streaming. If you're expecting something that's gonna make you weep on cue, if that's something that you sometimes seek out, you know, we all love a good cry. I wouldn't say that it was a particularly weepy film, no. So that's the end of that one. Then the next film that I saw in cinemas this week was The Peanut Butter Falcon, which is one that kind of, I think, is flying slightly under the radar. I've seen a couple of trailers for it. It's definitely more of an indie pick, even though it does have some big names in it. It's a bit of a Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn type of, not retelling, but a take on that same idea. And it's quite a quiet film, it's quite a slow film, it only takes place over a few days, and it's only an hour and a half long, so you can see how that might divide up. It was just a feel-good film. I enjoyed watching it. It definitely kept my attention. I felt good having left the cinema. I felt kind of encouraged about the state of the world. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, definitely recommend this one. It follows a boy who has Down syndrome, who has sort of wrongly been placed in this old people's home. He has multiple attempts to escape, and eventually he does, whereby he meets up with a guy who's kind of down on his luck. We know that he's lost his brother, and that's really affected him, and he's just trying to earn a bit of money. Unfortunately, he's kind of going about it the wrong way, so he's semi on the run, and this other boy is on the run, and they kind of get together and go on this journey. Obviously, people are looking for Zach, our first character, and also looking for Noah. No, not Noah, Tyler. Where does Noah come into it? There is a Noah. Tyler is the main character, Zach and Tyler. And it's just, yeah, it's definitely feel good. It's about the journey, and then there's a bit of wrestling comes into it. There's a cameo by Mick Foley. I mean, what's not to love about that? I wouldn't say, yes, definitely rush out and see this on the big screen. There's no kind of benefit to seeing it on the big screen, but if you're wanting to find something that's going to make you feel good, that's uplifting, then definitely go and see this one. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. You know, maybe don't rush out to see it in the cinema, wait till it comes to streaming, but I definitely recommend it. And yeah, it was just really nice and a really comforting story. I enjoyed what it had to say. And then the fourth film that I saw in cinemas this week was The Kitchen, which I've been trying to see for ages, and for one reason or another, I just haven't managed to fit it in. I think it kind of lost its screens fairly quickly, so it had 4 or 5 screenings the first couple of weeks, and then very quickly went down to 2 screenings. So in terms of finding a screening time that works for me, I think that's the problem. This film has had really rubbish reviews, and a lot of people are saying, oh, it's trying to be one thing and it doesn't know what it wants to be. And I personally feel like it's kind of got slated because it is a fiercely feminist film about women doing awesome things and bettering themselves despite the men in their lives trying to keep them oppressed and keep them down. It's a take on the Irish mob in 1970s, Hell Kitchen, the Irish mafia, the Irish mob, and kind of the Italian gang mob mafia that's over in Brooklyn. They come into it a little bit as well. It's also a female director, and again, films with female directors seem to get bad reviews as well, but I thought it was really awesome. I didn't even leave to go to the bathroom during this film, which is unheard of for me. A film must be truly gripping me for me to be able to just sit there and not have to get up and go. It is quite a violent film surrounding, Hell's Kitchen. That time in New York was not a pleasant place to be. People were shot in the streets. There were dead bodies. There was, lootings and rapes, and definite care warning for domestic violence and rape in this film. However, if you can take that as part of the storyline of the film, then I definitely recommend this one. I did like seeing it in the big screen. I think that you might struggle finding a screening of it left in your area. I'm not sure if it's out in the UK yet, so if it's not out in the UK yet and you're watching this in the UK, when it comes out, go and see it, because I really enjoyed it. I was watching and this character came out and I was like, is that Donald Gleeson? And I'm like, looking at the person and thinking, well, no, he's got this Irish accent, and this guy's got this amazing Irish American New York Hell's Kitchen at that time accent. And it was, listening, because I love listening to people's accents when they do different accents in films. It's something that I did at university, and so I like to pick out on it. It's something that I actively did at university. And his accent was just, perfection. There wasn't a break in it, and I was like, is that him? Is it not? So obviously stayed and watched the credits. I was like, it is him. So he's fantastic in it. Obviously Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish normally play comic roles. However, Melissa McCarthy in Can You Ever Forgive Me was fantastic in a serious role. You know, that's last year she did the whole Oscar and Razzie nomination thing. And you know, I'm not normally a fan of Tiffany Haddish's films in general, but I really like this one. Maybe I like her in more serious films. Maybe that's my thing with her. And then Elizabeth Moss was just absolutely fantastic. I have not watched Handmaid's Tale, and seeing her in this role as this oppressed woman makes me want to go away and watch her in Handmaid's Tale, because she was just absolutely fantastic. Yes, there's a lot of violence. Yes, there's a lot of swearing, but that is in keeping with the historical time that it portrays. You know, if you said to me, okay, take your pick of these two violent films that are on in cinemas right now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or The Kitchen, I would say I'm going to go and see The Kitchen again, because I really enjoyed that. And it's about women going, right, okay, you guys have kept us oppressed. You've not been doing a very good job of running this neighborhood. Let us show you how it's done. It was just, yeah, fantastic. So if you are able to go and see this one, I really, really recommend it. It's the favourite one out of all the films I saw this week. It left me feeling uplifted in a different way to the Peanut Butter Falcon, but it definitely left me, I definitely left the cinema feeling good and feeling good about this film. So go and see it. As always, if there is a particular film that you would like me to go and watch and share my thoughts on here, do let me know in the comments. Always happy to go and watch films on demand. I will be back next week with some more movie reviews for you, so make sure you are subscribed so that lands in your subscription feed. I will be back in the week with some more bookish content, including my September TBR. Always a fun one. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.